Hi everyone, my name is Pablo Naranjo. I'm a chef. I'm from Colombia, and we're currently here for the first edition of Forest Talk series, where we're going to be talking about sustainability and sustainable ways of actually eating in order to save the planet. And today we have here with us George Thumbi from Wildlife Works. George, would you like to introduce a little bit of yourself? And first of all, it's very nice to meet you, virtually meet you. Unfortunately, the world situation today is not allowing us to be together and be able to see all the wonders that you're creating over there in Kenya.
Yeah, thanks, Pablo. My name is George Thumbi. I am the Agribusiness and Forestry Department Manager at Wildlife Works Kasigau Red Plus project here in Kenya. It's a pleasure meeting you people.
It is a pleasure meeting you as well. First of all, I'm really honored and very happy to be here with you, George. Like I've been reading a little bit about your project, and I really think it's just beautiful. We're gonna take this opportunity to talk a little bit about sustainability, and most likely our audience is gonna be asking why I am here. Like, why is there a chef talking about sustainability? And I would really like to make a point there, saying that like the ways that we are eating in today's world are probably not the most beneficial for our planet, and we should be aware and create some awareness in the audience and people around us to just understand the role that our feeding systems work around the world. Before we get like really serious about all of these things and we start talking really about sustainability, I would really like to start asking you, George, what is your favorite food?
It's all Kenyan, it's all East African, so you might not understand, but I'll try to elaborate. There's something we call mokimo here in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Mokimo is basically maize and beans in whatever proportions one likes. It could be dry or green, boiled, and then potatoes, green leaves like the pumpkin leaves added and mashed, so it becomes something solid. You can after when it's ready, you can also eat it together with other vegetables on the side, like tomatoes. Some people even fry some meat on the sides, but I normally prefer it plain.
It really sounds something really yummy. Like I would really like to try something like that. Like here in Colombia, we have a lot of corn, a lot of maize, a lot of beans. It literally sounds like something that could be done with my local products or on the other side of the world. Now, George,
Okay,
you're
great.
the agri-business and forestry manager at Wildlife Works at the Kasigau project in Kenya. Would you be able to tell me a little bit more and tell the audience a little bit more about the project and the company, please?
Yeah, in brief, this company was incepted in the year 1997. It is in the coastal county of Taita Taveta in Kenya. That is about 580 meters above sea level, some 350 kilometers or so southeast of the capital city of Nairobi. Our project started and occupies now approximately 500,000 acres. The company is the world leading RED Plus project. RED, of course, means reduction of emissions from degradation and deforestation, which basically means the owner of the tree is making money from a tree that is not being cut, a tree that is living, because the trees hold the carbon, and what we do is protect those trees from being cut so that they retain that carbon on the trees, and also we also discourage degradation such as mining, poor agricultural practices, so that the carbon that is in the soil is not emitted back into the environment. Now, the strategy that our company uses is incorporates the community at all levels, because once the community are the ones who own that resource, which is called the forest, and the animals inside them, they are the ones who would threaten the forests. So they are they are an integral part of conservation in our strategy, and obviously, if they are desperate and poor, then they are into the forest, cutting the trees, killing the animals. So our company has agreed with the community that they will not do that. But at the same time, it's also providing alternative sources of income from poaching and from cutting trees and burning charcoal and fuel wood. So the strategy is based on job creation and other viable alternatives for people that have previously had to destroy the environment in order to survive. Now, the carbon sales finance this and all our activities, including sustainable farming, which is what we are talking about. So basically, that's what we do.
It sounds really interesting. I love the fact that you're preserving nature in a certain way, that you're probably also having some impact on people and their way of living and the way that they consume products as well. I'm pretty sure it's also on that end. So if we're going to talk a little bit about food impact, I think it's safe to say that today we consume products around most parts of the world that are quite damaging. You know, as a chef, I know that a lot of times we use products that are not from where we are, and we just bring them over because we have a craving of using something. And there's a lot of people that actually don't understand the implications of that. And I feel that if we don't do something today, we're going to keep facing the same consequences in the future. Um, and we need to change something now. Um, how do you think, George, that we should alter our agriculture food systems in order to prevent catastrophic effects?
Yeah, you're quite right. And I'm glad that this is an agriculturist talking to a chef. I think all of us in the food chain need to be talking to one another. So I'm not surprised that I'm talking to a chef of international repute. Yes, I think we are, for most part of our country, when I go around, I think we are already late. So we are trying to recover a situation that is run away. So we must move to efficient systems, which lead to optimal yields, or maybe more yields than we're getting per unit area. So we must get efficient ways of producing food, so that we are not talking about expansive pieces of land. We are talking about minimal, without much expansion, and the growing processes that are not harmful to the environment and which do not cause deforestation and degradation themselves. Rural agricultural practices are the main threat to conservation and to the forests. And so, and yet agriculture itself depends on the same environment that is threatened. So we must also practice good agricultural practices. So for us, we recommend as much as possible for people to utilize whatever land that they are utilizing right now without expanding, by expanding going upwards, which is what we call vertical farming. Permaculture-based soil and water conservation practice, farming alongside, which is also farming alongside growing trees in the system called agroforestry, with minimum tillage, so that we are not exposing the carbon that's also in the soil back into the environment. We're not exposing the soil to heat, to soil erosion. You know, where we are, the soil is highly degraded right now because of soil erosion. So we practice complete climate smart agriculture in order to prevent these catastrophic effects, which we are already seeing. For the time I've been living, I have seen a huge change. And yeah, it is time that we looked at stopping this. growing crops that are adapted to the climatic conditions where we are is very important, because when we introduce foreign crops, they struggle, and then we are forced to make an effort, maybe use more water, pump pesticides, fertilizers, and all that. Whereas we could have grown something that is adopted to the area, then we wouldn't have to do that. And it would be a way of stopping the mess that we are seeing.
So basically, all the way of agriculture that you're managing in the project is completely sustainable, right? It's very interesting that you're doing vertical farming. I think that's really beautiful. And like if you cannot expand this way, you just go height wise. It's a very smart way of doing it, and I think that's beautiful. What kind of vegetables are you currently growing in the project, or what kind of foods people grow in your area?
Generally, people grow maize in this area, beans, green grams, and then we're also growing leafy vegetables such as amaranthus, nightshade, pumpkins. Also grow yams and millet.
I love yams. I think they're wonderful vegetable, and everything that you're planting sounds quite nutritious. I would like to know in this project that you're managing of vertical farming, how much food do you actually grow, and where does it go when it's harvested?
Currently, our own unit is not very big. It's just about 2,000 square meters. And then we also have community projects that we have helped establish, and we are supporting them. Our own produces roughly 10 tons of vegetables in a year. It's just about 2,000 square meters. And the other projects have slightly about double the area that we have. So they're producing about 15 to 20 tons of traditional vegetables in a year.
That's quite impressive. And does all go to the community, or do you sell some of it?
We normally sell that at cost, and we keep monitoring the price in the local market. So majority of the people who take it are the people who are neighboring us. There are also small scale merchants. Majority of them are women in the local market here. So they come and pick it from our place and sell. Some of them are educating their children from the produce that we are producing here.
That sounds lovely. I wish I could have access to such beautiful, fresh, environmentally grown vegetables next to my house. I wish I could. Now, I keep wondering, George, since you're working with certain amount of vegetables and produce, and you've been going with this project for quite a while, I'm pretty sure this has impacted the community or the people or the workers around it quite a bit. So I was wondering if you have is there a dish that has been born in a certain way or created out of the produce that you've grown for the community? Maybe workers or people who are part of the project right now, they had their food habits to be very different, and maybe now after working with you, they recognize the importance of sustainability, and maybe they've changed a little bit their food habits. Is there any story that you can tell us about maybe a dish that people in the community now consume happily and regularly thanks to the products that you're growing?
Let me see first. For reasons that people cannot afford a lot of variety, already people are used to eating traditional vegetables, even wild ones. Here, the only thing we have, so they're not going to change a lot. They don't eat meat much because they can't afford it. It's not easy to afford. So their eating habits were not going to change a lot. What we have done is just introducing something else that they were not aware that now they have adopted as one of their traditional vegetables, and also demonstrated better growing techniques so that they can get higher yields and better quality.
And besides, George, all the all the beautiful things that you're doing, do you do any additional training in sustainable agriculture, or do you have any other activities on the pipeline?
Yes, Pablo, it's a major part of our community engagement. And every week we have 2 visits by community groups. Of course, we had put a pause on it during the pandemic when we had to close for a few months. But every week we get community groups visiting us. Majority is women, students, some are mixed men and women, a few are youths also. So they come here twice a week, and they spend the day with us. Come in the morning, they see what happens at Wildlife Works, and when they come to our department of agribusiness and forestry, we tell them about the need not to cut trees, the need to add trees in their areas, and then they spend a day with us, working practically, learning from us, telling them what we do, how we do what we do, and then why we do it the way we do it. And at the end of the day, they get something that they take home. In the coming days, we want to try. We also want to challenge ourselves and go into the community. If the finances are available, we want to purchase a piece of land within the community where we will practice climate smart agriculture out there, where the community, even who are in far-flung areas, can visit and see climate smart agriculture, which includes, soil erosion control, water conservation methods out there, companion planting, where different plants have mutual benefits. Some people call it the farming the way of God. So it is something that is in the pipeline. We hope that we can get money to start maybe before the end of the year. Also, because this is a place where there is a lot of animals, especially the elephants, we also want to do a pilot project to fence off some community farmlands where elephants are always damaging the crops. So those are 2 of the main things that we have in the pipeline.
Well, I really wish, George, that you get all the support that you need. And I think this is the right moment to ask, can you tell us, please, how can we as individuals contribute something and help to support this project?
The organization Stand for Trees provides an easy way where people can make a contribution with as minimum as $6. That would go a long way to helping the community and also our work conservation. People can also donate through the website, that is standfortrees.org, or through Wildlife Works website, which is www.wildlifeworks.com. We would really
Perfect.
appreciate that help.
So basically, if anyone in the audience right now is watching us and you feel that George's work is amazing as much as I do, please feel free. You can contribute by going to the website. Making any small donation really counts. And if you're not able today to make a contribution with money, let's just be together and make a change in our eating habits. At least I think that would create a huge impact on the environment, and that's probably something that everyone can do without investing money of your own pocket, if maybe right now you don't have the money to make a donation. George, once again, thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful afternoon.
You're welcome, Pablo. It's been a pleasure.
Same here.